Hey everybody. I think this is working. I got a new device. So this is my first little test video, and I just thought I'd just make a little short video of myself and see how this works. I got a new laptop. Well, new to me laptop. It's a new one, but it's from a few years back. It's the MacBook Air M1 chip. And I did some research on all kinds of different laptops because I haven't had a laptop for a while. I've been going with my tablet, which is a good tablet. It's a nice tablet, but and then I've got my iPhone. Um, so I needed a new, computer. I need an actual computer. Try to do some stuff with. That I just can't do on the other stuff. Now my tablet does have, I'm pretty sure looking at this, it does have a better camera than my MacBook here. But that is not why I decided to get the MacBook. Not for the camera. The camera's decent. It's 720p, but it's not not the greatest. But this laptop is amazing for what it does. For it's any of the Airs, if you don't know, they don't have a fan, and that's one of the best things about them, I think. And the M1 chip, I researched the M2 chip's out now, and it's more powerful. And the M2 Air gets a longer battery life, about 20 hours. This one is 18. Of course, that's way longer than any Microsoft or Windows, non-Mac laptops that I looked at. None of them have a battery that's close to that. And this is a laptop that came out in 2020. But I did research, and I went on YouTube, and I really looked into it. And at first, I was gonna just get a laptop that's about $450. It was decent, and it's probably, in some ways maybe superior to this one, newer to this one, but not none of them have the quality of these Mac Airs. And of course, there's MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, and thought about the Pros, but they're just too much. I didn't want to spend a ridiculous amount, and I started finding out from reviews on YouTube that this was the best deal. This computer right here that I got is the best deal out there, and even today, it's the best for what I needed it for. Now if you're looking for like gaming, like a major gaming laptop or something, that's not this. But if you look into it, you'll see why I made the decision I made. Let's just leave it at that. And yeah, I paid a little more than $450, but this M1 chip is amazing, and everyone lauds it. And so far it's been great. I've never owned a Mac computer ever. I've always I've always had like Windows, whatever you call it. I just say non-Mac because there's quite a variety out there. Anything that uses Intel chips or AMD chips, and a lot of old Macs actually use some of the Intel chips and stuff like that before they came up with the M1 chip. And the M1 chip came right from Apple. That's what made it a game changer in 2020 when it came out. And the M2 chip is just a little more powerful, a little better, but You're gonna pay a little more. It's newer, and newer as far as how they came out. But this, I found a great deal on this. Yeah, it's on Amazon because it's a little cheaper there for brand new, unopened, still in the plastic wrapping in the little white Mac box here. um, yeah, and it's brand new from 3 years ago. But yeah, it was I think it was a pretty good deal for what this is, and for how long I'll use this, how long I'll have it, and the resale value is better. It's always going to be better. They always retain their value better. And these Airs, I mean, they don't, with the Airs, one of the biggest things I liked about it, every laptop out there pretty much has a fan. You have a built-in fan. And even the MacBook Pros have the fans because they are more, they run hotter, more powerful, and so they need that extra cooling down. Of course, I'm sure the Mac fans are probably quieter than the other kinds of laptops fans, but the Airs are one of the only, maybe the only nice laptop that quality laptop that has no fan and there's no vents, and it's great for that. And there's hardly any ways that the dirt and debris can ever get into this thing. It's like solid. And I always like the idea of a solid state drive, SSD. And of course, most computers have that now, have the SSD drives. But they still need cooling down by a fan. So you have that fan noise, even though you have a solid state drive, it doesn't make noise like the old computers when I was in high school and a little after high school, around the year in the late 90s and early 2000s. Your processor made noise. It wasn't they wasn't a solid state drive yet, so they actually made all these different noises, and plus you had the fan on top of that, and the dial-up. the older people know those dial-up sounds. But yeah, so this has no fan. There's no way dirt, debris can get in. I mean, you can pop the bottom off and clean it anyway after a little while and see if there's anything in it, but there's no reason really to do that with no fan. The fan's the thing that brings in the stuff and is able, for dirt and dust to collect in there. And so, yeah, I've looked enough and saw, MacBook Pros with the fans. They recommend, popping the bottom off and flipping it over and going through like with an air can. And you should probably do that with any kind of laptop after a couple years, 3 years, with a fan. Because it will get in there. So, but this one doesn't have that. So it's wonderful. And it's just it's so thin, it's so solid. It kind of surprised me about a little bit how heavy it was for for how small it is. It's a 13-inch screen laptop, but it's good quality. It's just solid. I'm not familiar with that, and it's quiet. It's silent. It's got the lit up keyboard, and the keyboard actually lights up and makes sense when it lights up because the keys are black, and the letters themselves are what's lit by the white light back behind, or the numbers, or the symbols. It's just so well done that way. And when I was looking for a $400 or $500 or $600 laptop, there weren't a whole lot that had the backlit keyboard. And the ones that did, they didn't really, the reviews, certain reviewers are like, it's not, they're not, it's not great because it's like the light didn't get through the keys in the right way or something. It's like they just didn't do it right. But Apple does. It's just really nice. And the 18-hour battery. Yeah, it did. When I opened the box, since I'm assuming it's from 2020. It's been in this plastic box in a warehouse somewhere. Hope, I'm sure climate controlled warehouse somewhere. Since then, or around then, maybe a little after. But it's been sitting for a little while because there's no power at all. And when I was watching videos about when people unboxed these and how they came, with this very the very one with the M1 chip, they came half charged or even 80% charged or mostly charged for them. But I wasn't surprised because a lot of those review videos were a year old, 2 years old, and that I watched some few months ago. But yeah, anyway, I'm just glad that I decided on it. I think it's amazing. And yeah, most every laptop, even the nice ones, like this one doesn't have a touchscreen, but a lot of them that do, the 2-in-1s they call them, their battery life is horrible. They might get 6 or 7 or 8 hours, which that's okay for a lot of people, but I like the idea of it having like more than a day's amount of charge without you having to worry about it. So if you, took it somewhere, used it all day, like an 8-hour day or something, and then forgot to plug it in, charge it, the next day, pick it up, put it in your bag, you maybe get to work or go somewhere that you need it, you open it up, and it's okay because it's still got like 50-60% of the battery for that day, and you'll get through that day without having to plug it in. So that's just nice. I just think that's cool. There's not a lot of, only the M2, as far as I know, only the M2 MacBook Air has the longer battery life, 20 hours. But a lot of the reviewers, and it's quite a bit more. It's newer and it's quite a bit more. But a lot of reviewers said it gets hotter. It doesn't have the fan, just like the M1 chip that I got. But it's almost like the M2 chip runs hotter. It's more powerful. So it gets a little hotter. And they've actually changed a part of the bottom. They've changed out a whole kind of insulator material for another sort. And I don't know why I'm hoarse. But they've changed the insulation in it. And a lot of people are finding that it's just hotter. It gets hotter quicker. And this hadn't been hot at all. Of course, it's not plugged in because it's got a full battery. It only took I'd say 2. It was completely dead. So when I got it out of the box and plugged it in, it took about a minute for it to actually be able to come on. But then it only took maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours total to charge all the way up. And then once it got to 100%, I unplugged it. Because I did read and watch where people said it's optimal for the battery life to make the battery last the longest. And you can switch out the battery. That's the one thing you can switch out in these, which I think is fine. I'm not going to need to switch out anything else, but it's cool that you can actually put a new battery in it, have it be put in, or put it in yourself. Anyway, I forgot what I was getting at, but anyway, the long battery life is great, and it doesn't get as hot as the new M2 chip, even though it's not as powerful. The M2 MacBook Air has a camera that would be comparable to my tablet. My tablet's a Samsung S7 Plus, and it's 12 inch. Or 13. It might be 12 and a half or 13 inch tablet. It's about the same size screen. Same size screen as a MacBook. And you can see my MacBook in the reflection there. You can even see how it's lit up. It doesn't show that, but they are. But yeah, the screen's about the same size, and it's got the pen, the magnetic pen. And the pen's cool because it's got this little button that's inset on it, and you can actually make videos with this. It's got the camera on the front and the back. I usually just use the camera right here on the front and put it up like that. That's how I've made my videos in the past. And then with it, if it's close enough, you don't need to use the pen. But if you want to be farther away, you take the pen, you hold it in your hand. You can be up to 20 or 30 feet away. And with the little button, it's got that one little button right there on it. You just click that when you're on the, video mode. And you can stop and start the video. If you're on photo mode, each click will take a picture. So it just makes it mobile where you can operate the thing from far away. But I usually don't use it. I don't use the actual pen much. I mean, it's nice. I guess for certain applications it would be handy, or, I just don't use the tablet that much for that. And at first when I got the tablet, about a year and a half ago or so, yeah, around that, maybe close to 2 years now. At first I used the pen all the time because it was brand new, and I was like, oh, I don't want to use my pen. But I eventually broke down and started using my finger because it's just, more convenient. But it's nice to have the pen, and a lot of the times I just take the pen off, and the pen actually charges because the button feature in it has that like electronic battery. It's actually got a little battery in it. And when you plug it in, or when you see it has the battery meter right here and shows it. And it's fully charged right now, but so I won't lose the pen because it's a good magnet, but it's not on there real strong. So what I usually do when I'm just using it the way I use it in the house, I just put the pen somewhere else. I put it in a drawer, I put it somewhere where I know I'll have it. Put it with other pencils or pens that I have, that I keep up with and where they are. So that's the way I haven't lost it. Now, if you kept it on here all the time and you were going places with it and doing things, and you put it down, they'll come right off on a table. It'll come off on the side of the table. It's real easy. So if you ever get one of these with the pen, now the new ones, they might have a stronger magnet or whatever, but it's still so easy to lose this or break it, dropping it too far down, or something. As you're walking along, drop it on concrete or something like that. Anyway, so you just put this off the side. Of course, if you're a woman, you can put it in your purse. And just have it at the bottom of your purse. And just have it. And every now and then, just plug it on. And it only takes like 10 minutes for it to fully charge up. If it's on 0 battery, it'll be like 10 minutes. It'll be 100. It's a tiny little battery in there. Its only function is to take actually do an action. And I guess on different apps, I just use it for taking pictures, stopping and starting videos and taking pictures. But there's probably other uses for the action button, here on the side of this. And anyway, it's nice. It's a nice deal. And yeah, this is my only Android non-Mac device now, but that I use. I have an old tablet that I just don't use, but I keep the battery charged, and then I have an old little Android phone that I never use. But I keep it every now and then. I'll plug it in and charge it up and keep the battery going. Because I just have some stuff, some pictures and stuff in those. But I don't ever really use them anymore. But I'll tell you, that old tablet, what was that? My older tablet's a little smaller, a little thicker, a little older, and a little heavier, denser. But it was the Samsung Galaxy Tab E. Or Samsung Galaxy Tab E. There was a Samsung Galaxy Tab A and a Samsung Galaxy Tab E, and it was I researched those years ago and decided on the E. The E just seemed it was a little better. It had better parameters and better specs than the A. It was Samsung Galaxy Tab E. The best battery of any device I've ever had. The battery is still amazing and a monster, even though I used it for so long. Charged it over and over and over. That battery. I tell you, this tablet 3 times more expensive than that one was, but this one's battery I can start after about 2 years. I'm starting to see the battery not lasting quite as long. You know how it goes. Y'all know what I'm talking about with iPhones and all of them. After a little while, the batteries, start going down. But that Samsung Galaxy Tab E battery, it was twice as heavy as this, 3 times as thick, and about 3/4 the size. But that battery's amazing. That battery outdo this battery twice over. I'd have to charge this twice. And it's a good big battery. I'd still have to charge this thing twice over to compete with that old battery. So yeah, if you're in the market and you're looking for an older tablet and you don't care about the newer ones, look for a new inbox if you can find those. And probably more likely find a like new inbox or gently used, hopefully gently used. Samsung Galaxy Tab E. The Tab A's were probably just as good with the battery. I don't know, because they're just about identical. But I don't know if there was any difference in battery or not. But I had the E, and the battery's amazing. Until this MacBook, this MacBook's battery will put it to shame. 18 hours, gone. And yeah, I took about 2.5, 3 hours to charge it yesterday, and I've used it for about I've opened it and used it for a couple hours today, and it's at 91%. So that gives you an idea. I've actually maybe close to 3 hours. Yeah, so give you an idea. So I'm just gonna stop this here and see how this goes, see how the audio is and everything. See if I didn't need to adjust anything on it or whatever. But yeah, it's nice, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to use it to do some constructive things with. So y'all have a good one, and I'll see you later.